All right, hello, welcome back to the London Open session on Monday morning. And here we are again. Hello, good morning, Sonia. How are you today? Hello, Ashley. Let me see what's on the menu for today. So yeah, we have this 4 hour inversion for value gap. All right. And this is where we are currently. Yeah, those equal highs in here are still really smooth. So eventually, I feel like price may want to gravitate towards those. And yeah, higher time frame, it seems rather to be bullish than bearish. So we have this inefficiency in here, but it's kind of overlapped with this week. So you kind of want to use the week there. Wait a second, my friend. I mean, we just began the session. There are many things that can happen, right? All right, so this would be this premium week, which is discount week, but we are below it, so it's premium. This will be important. Reference point, buy sell liquidity, this inefficiency, all of those are premium arrays. If we go through them, they should act as support and send us back for those equal highs. But let's go back. Let's go back. So when it comes to the discount arrays, we had a base here, and we already worked off of that base higher, made a higher high, and now deeper into the premium. Perfect. Let me also add the new week opening up, because we haven't even traded into it at all. All right, so this is kind of like a gap too, right? Like a liquidity void gap. All right, this is kind of open. We started on Monday straight up ever since midnight. We rally aggressively higher. And yeah, already approaching deep premium levels inside of the version fair value gap that I annotated. This is an area where the inversion and the wick overlaps. So this might be a strong area of resistance potentially. And yeah, up to consecutive encroachment, we might likely see some retracements, to say the least, right? In terms of a smooth level that I like on the downside, I like those equal lows here. Those equal lows here, right above the consecutive encroachment. I like that as a potential draw on liquidity. All right. So for now, for the time being right now, it's 3 a.m. Let me quickly look at the hourly chart. We've just taken relative equal highs buy side with the previous candle. And we have a potential inefficiency in here that we may want to gravitate towards, potentially, right? So the buy side liquidity currently is here. Buy side liquidity is currently here, and as far as I remember, this week is very light on the news. There's really not much going on for this week at all. Monday nothing, Tuesday nothing, Wednesday FOMC but minutes, so that's pretty much nothing really. Thursday some medium impact news, so that may be something, but yeah, it's not something huge. And Friday nothing, so very light week when it comes to the news events. So yeah, with the things being as they are in here at this moment for this session, I would rather prefer to look for some kind of opportunity on the downside, meaning for opportunity on the short side versus going long, because how deep in a premium we are, and because that we've taken the buy side liquidity already, and we have some clean and finished levels on the downside too. But yeah, I don't necessarily require a complete sell-off. I would be more just interested to watch and see what it does, how it does when it comes to the downside. So nonetheless, this is kind of like the level that we are at right now. That's the upper quadrant of the 4-hour inversion for Valley Gap. We swept the buy side liquidity relative equal highs and price quite aggressively sold off already. So we have theoretically a couple of arrays in here. We have consecutive encroachment of this week. And we have this inefficiency with the volume imbalance. That's the first inefficiency after running relative equal highs top hunt at a key level also. Alright, so far it looks like it's not returning up into it. It's rather using this small little inefficiency right there, which indicates some further weakness in my mind. And it does something like this because this stays open as a breakaway gap then. Right, yes, he's completely on a different planet here. Well. It seems to me like we made a turnaround here. It makes sense for it though. But yeah, even if using this, I would like to have my stop loss up there, minimum. This would have been like the low-hanging fruit objective. This would have been like 1 to 2. But well, is it so nice and heavy? Just like that. Well, it's clearly displacing lower and lower. Now smashing through this octane. Let's see if this will end up being an inefficiency. Laying on this level in here, it would be a high probability CB though. Let's see if it will offer any return back to it. Well. It seems like it's going for the sell liquidity just like that. Being quite heavy. Well. So the sell side is being engaged already here. Nice little waterfall from Nasdaq right into the sell side. Again, 1 minute too slow to enter in here, and then never gave a return here to re-engage with that. And it clears the sell side liquidity. So, well, so yeah, I mean, in theory, it has still some room to go on the downside, potentially. But but so yeah, I guess now there are a couple things to watch still potentially, and one of those is how and if we can be reaching the lower octants, lower quadrants of this inversion fair value gap, and whether they offer any discount sensitivity. Because if they will, then that's likely, then this will be likely going to be getting back towards those highs again. Well, Koho-san, maybe it's not out of question, right? maybe it's not out of the question, right? I don't know. I would maybe leave it for the AM session, but and drag London still a little bit higher, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, what can I say, right? So yeah, we are definitely at some measure of a crossroad here. Dealing around this old area of buying. Now we kind of will return back into it and we'll see whether it offers any willingness to continue on going lower. I mean, theoretically, it would be quite reasonable to expect some continuation, but yeah, it's no news Monday, and usually the 9:30, so the AM session in that regard is more volatile in a sense, right? So I just wonder if London has the guts to do it, but yes, I mean I don't know that for a fact, obviously, but I would say yes. That would be my go-to expectation overall. I would want to see price gravitate towards that and those equal lows. So that's a very solid draw on the downside and our expectation. And yeah, that would be my go-to expectation. But at the same time, I would be like, not forcing it and just measuring if it maybe doesn't want to do that. Because if it were to go, I don't know, close to it or right away cancel the idea of going down there, that would be really, really, really indicative of some larger bullishness, and then probably we would see a run on the buy side liquidity here. But yeah, it's kind of difficult to weather out on a no news economic calendar week. right? It's far easier when there are news events, so you can generally frame which day is more likely to present the opportunity or the movement. But on a week like this, it might be any day, or it might be none. So it's a little bit of a trickier week, I would say, in that regard. But yeah. So yeah, so far we are ending up in a little bit of a bear flag, small little bear flag, like an impulse lower and now consolidation. So let's see what we'll get out of this. All right, that's a little nugget here. It took the sell side politely and then quickly rejected higher back inside this little range. Now already taking the buy side liquidity above it. Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. It's tricky at this moment. I'm watching this inefficiency right now. Let's see if we can climb into it. Generally, I still like lower though. Yeah, we also have this 15-minute CB now here, over top on a 5-minute. Right, so now we are going to be approaching this little fair value gap in here, which lays over top of a quadrant, and it's in the lower half of this 15-minute fair value gap. But yeah, if that's the case, if there is a short in here, you would look at this price run from the consolidation here into breakout, return down into it, expansion, and wherever it makes a high, you would look at this like a market maker sell mall potential one to form, and preferably it would form without violating this high. But yeah, so far we violated this fair value gap, this, and this one is next on the menu. Yeah, it's storming through this one also, so nothing in here is really bearish at the moment. Completely close above this one on the first candle. So that does suggest higher prices, I would say. So yeah, at this moment, I feel like any return back into this inversion here makes more sense to send it higher into some deeper premium rather than a sell-off. That would be like the target. So we have this busy, we have this inversion for value gap. This inversion for value gap theoretically, and like a line in the sand, this one at a key level. So any return back into this inversion here before running the buy side out, I would like for a potential continuation towards the buy side liquidity and deeper premium. So yeah, let's see if we can get any retracement down. It would have been pretty nice, I would say, and sweet with that idea though. We got the sell side. We worked off of this level here, send it aggressively, very strongly higher, hinting it's still bullish. All of the premium race gave up rather quickly. So if we would return back to them, I would like to see it rally, but so far it does that just like that without much retracement. So that's not necessarily ideal, I would say, but right, looks like it gives a little bit of a turnaround here. Let's see if we can get down into it. Yeah, I'm using the consecutive encroachment also, so of this inversion. That might be a little bit greedier version of it, but we are already relatively deeper into the premium of this range, so I would rather get a better seating than just a seat. Nonetheless, let's click the buy button here and watch. All right, so this is a little bit of the retracement that I was looking for. Now let's see if we can reach down into the inversion for value gap. So far, it's looking quite unwilling to do so, but we'll see. A little bit of consolidation here. I would say I kind of like it though. I kind of like it. A little bit of consolidation, maybe into a fake drop into the inversion and then run higher. Would make some sense though. So yeah, especially it makes a little bit more sense as we are going into the macro now. So let's see. 11 and a half more minutes to go. All right, so it gives the institutional or French drill here. Yeah, another idea would be probably like entering one here, then adding another one here and here, like kind of like making sure you will get filled. Yeah, so let's see if we can still engage with this inversion for value up. And again, the other idea would be like just splitting this position into 3 singular contracts and using one here, for example, one here, one at the consecutive encroachment, and kind of like ensuring that I will get something in. If it's not gonna go for the consecutive encroachment. And yeah, sure, that's like an idea. All right, so inversion is in a striking distance here for sure. All right, so this is my bet here. All right, so it got me in on the consecutive encroachment of this inversion for value gap right here. Stop loss below this inefficiency low and aiming for 1 to 2 targeting the clustering of the PD arrays and the bias liquidity. Now let's see. Now it's showtime. So far so good. The inversion for value gap respects the price in the upper half. The bodies are respecting the inversion. That's good. So yeah, everyone who was getting involved into a short on this down move there has a stop loss around this high or above, because that's the only one that's kind of significant in here in this price run. Now they are kind of relatively equal. So a lot of buy side liquidity is resting up there. Well, this was a measure of displacement. Right, and it closed below it, not below the busy, but below the inversion. Uh, let's see, because that could have been a last bit of manipulation here, and now it might deliver. But let's see if it offers some speed now. Well, this looks like some shenanigans going on in here, but they couldn't get me out, so if we can manage to go above this down candle here, should be rather fine, right? So yeah, if anyone had stop loss that was tight below this inversion for gap, just below it, got taken out basically. And now price is still prompt to move higher though. Back again into the inversion. Nice initial reaction here. Let's see if we can pop. Hmm. Okay, last chance. So ideally partial, partial, full exit. Well, that's pretty weak price action though. Probably gonna go for my stop here. Yeah. Well, at least I got one partial, but still, this was kinda tricky though. 35 and a half added to the balance. This is how it looks like. Yeah, not a lot, but at least something. Hmm. Yeah, I guess I'd be content for the session though. Hmm. I only wonder if I didn't trim the stop to break even and left it as it was. I wonder if this was just a retracement to the inversion for gap to send it actually higher next. Could be, but yeah, it's kinda tricky in here, which is yeah understandable, I guess. But a nice try, nice try, nonetheless. Thanks for watching, though. It was a pleasure as always. I wish you guys a pleasant reminder of the day, and see you next time. Bye bye.